Okie dokie, let's go jump some ranked games with a random character and see what we're gonna get today. And it looks like we're playing the mage, and guess what? We start off with a spell called Blessing Impurity, which usually means I want to go for this crazy null blade. Definitely not Lantern Berry. But let's start off by grabbing ourselves a wooden sword. Let's go and grab a whetstone. Piggyback on sale, I'm gonna be gladly taken, along with a garlic. Let's roll once. Let's open for a second weapon, which we didn't get unfortunately, but we could take the magic for dummies. But we've no mana generation, so it's not gonna be that great for us. So is there anything else we do kind of want? We could sell a little blue gemstone for this small bit of regen, which I'm down for because it will give us more max life with our piggy bank. But yeah, let's get going. So we should be in a pretty decent spot because our Blessing Impurity might be slowed down, but it is going to cleanse blinds. It is going to heal us. It's going to keep us healthy, especially for that first 5 seconds. Now it's going to go insane. Every 1.5 seconds, it's going to heal us for 8s. Our cleanse, that called, but we'd rather get the heals. With our little chipped life-stealing red ruby, we're going to be healing decently as well. So overall, not too bad once again. Now, we're halfway there to get our Falcon Blade, so I really want to go for that. Let's take our storage. I'm picking a Puzzle Bag of Love, making me want to take it pretty badly because that's going to give us more heals on our Blessing Impurity. So I'm going to have to take it. Well, let's take our gloves. I'm not going to take a second one, although it is on sale. We could sell one of our leather bags for it. Am I crazy? I'm going to be crazy. So yeah, we're going to be focused on speeding up our Blessing Impurity along with our Hero Sword to try and get as much lifesteal as possible. We're going to get some max life and we're going to see how this goes. We bought a lot of storage, which is not good. It's usually not good if we have lots of empty spaces, especially seeing how packed our opponent's inventory is. This could be kind of scary because this axe is going to get a lot of skilling damage. They're going to have the Dragon Skin Boots, get some block once they do enter Battle Rage, and also give them Empower. But can we still keep up with the amount of heals we do have? I think we have a good chance. Just with the sheer amount of healing, our opponent will not be able to keep up unless this axe starts doing some ridiculous damage. But fatigue is going to chip down our opponents, and we should be in a pretty good spot to win out, and not too bad. Now what should we go for? We're going to be striving for such a long time that the Power of the Moon could be kind of nice here. It's going to be kind of nice because it will give us tons of max life. It's going to be great right now since it is on sale as well. Or the other options, we could take Norse Please, grab a Puzzle Bag of Endurance, and get that damage reduction for such a long time. That's another option we could do. We could also do the same with Echo and Battlecry with helmets. We can get insane damage reduction for insane amounts of time, which will be amazing too. But I think I'm going to take the Power of the Moon since it is on sale. Now it does give us a box of riches, which is kind of nice. We can get some gemstones, which I'm going to be down for, so I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to take it. Let's take you 2, and let's go ahead and grab this also. And let's be way more greedy and take another piggy bank. We're going to be way too greedy. We got lots of heals. As long as our opponent doesn't inflict too much debuffs, we can keep ourselves healthy. Just get a huge max life increase. Our Shiny Shell should be able to keep us back to full HP. And we're hoping that we can get a ton of gemstones in the future. But are we going to be able to take on this mage? They're going to get lots and lots of buffs. The longer the fight goes on, the scarier it is going to be for us because they're going to start stacking up in power. That's for sure. But it's still not looking too bad for us. Even though they got some crazy buffs, we're just out surviving with the sheer amount of healing from a Blessing Impurity. I mean, it is a great spell to start off with. Now next round, we do want to be rolling quite a bit. We definitely want to be rolling quite a bit. How about we take a fanny pack? This gives another Puzzle Bag of Love. I'm not going to be taking it though. Although we could go for the Staff on Healing type build. But it's a bit risky to go for that too. And since this gives us max life instead of a heal, it used to be given a big massive heal. It was crazy with a Staff of Healing, which would have been nice, but unfortunately it is what it is. Should we grab ourselves a bag of stones is the next question. I mean, I do kind of want to take it, but we might have to take our Star of Courage, and we might have to have the worst placed freaking fanny pack. I kind of want to roll once though. That is the second Blessing Impurity. How the hell do we not take that? Yep, I'm going to be taking it. Piggy bank might have to go then, or we take out our bag stones. I think I'm still going to be way too greedy for ourselves. And I'm going to venture on with this. Double Blessing Impurities is just going to help us win like crazy. Except our opponents, actually if they steal our buffs, what does it matter? Because we don't really rely on buffs. As long as they don't inflict too much debuffs, we should be in a pretty good spot. And they do get that broccoli cubers. So they're going to get infinite regen. So this is going to be a super crazy long fight, which might actually be in the favor of our opponents. Because they also got crazy heals with a heavy drinking health bot. They had a strong health bot. They're definitely going to go for insane regen. So can we keep up? Counter fatigue just outpace our opponents. One thing we do have is a lot more max life, so that fatigue is going to chip down our opponent first. And smashing. So overall, not too bad. No, that is a happy bomb. We could go for happy bomb mage, but we have no buffs. We literally have 0 buffs. So I'm not too pushy about taking it. It's been a long time since I played a happy bomb, but I'm not going to actually take it. Let's take our tiny bit of storage. Let's roll looking for a bunch of gloves. We could take a bunch of ones though. Let's check our regen since it is on sale. Let's keep going. Any of these items? Not exactly. Although bird could be kind of nice. Now we're spending 2 gold per roll. I'm not sure if we're going to be able... Yeah, I'm going to do it once more. And we could actually take our spell scroll regrow and go for that lantern berry. Definitely not. I do not want to go for that. But we could go for falcon blade with the ice flower. I do like it quite a bit. I will be taking it. But should we look for our gloves first of all? I mean, I kind of do, but I'm going to be taking it. We're going to be rocking on with this. And again, we're just surviving. Just surviving. Outlast our opponents is exactly what we want. We get our big max life increase. Now our opponents will have some scaling damage with the torch and the claws attack. Which later going to get that heals too, so this could be interesting. Again, these are all going to be crazy long fights, but with our stones in, we do a little bit more chip damage. So it is kind of nice. Our opponent does have a lot of empowerment, but we have lots of max life, and that fatigue is going to help chip down our opponents. Maybe take that corrupted crystal and just go for a fatigue type build. The only problem is, fatigue can be outscaled relatively easily. But hey, let's take our spell scroller go. Let's take this out again. Let's take an extra stone. Let's roll. And that is a rogue pop, which means we could go for Tarn Bloom. We have no ones. With Tarn Bloom, I want to go for a bunch of ones. So it is what it is. It does give us a pineapple though. Let's take a set of blueberries. Can we find a single pair of gloves? I mean, I do love the cat quite a bit. It's great. Especially for Nullblade, but I'm going to ignore it. Let's keep going. That is a cupcake. Not a single pair of gloves. That is pretty tough. And I'm going to sell this, and I'm going to sell these 2 gemstones, and I will be taking ourselves our cupcake. And with that, we're going to be venturing on pretty fast. At least now with our cupcake in, we should be able to scale up some buffs. And I'm going to be looking to scale up our regen. It might end up being our mana. Because our blueberries is going to trigger way faster than our cupcake. But as long as we keep getting a regen, we're going to be healing up. And unfortunately, our opponent is going to be inflicting those debuffs. Which means we're not going to get any healing from our blessing impurities. But with our stacking regen, it's still not looking too bad. We're cleansing our poison so our opponents cannot outscale us whatsoever. And so far, we have the potential to win this one out again. Definitely so. Even though we still have ourselves this little hero sword, that's putting in a lot of work. I mean, I've never seen a hero sword do this much work for us. Definitely so. Now that is an ice flower. Ice flower with a corrupted crystal. We could go for fatigue. I'd love to go for fatigue builds, but let's go ahead and grab it. Let's take out our box of riches. We're going to find 1 pair of gloves. Now you will be amazing as well because I would like to go for vampire gloves. You're going to be inflicting colds, which is exactly what we want to. But let's keep going. Mana orb is exactly what we need to though, to be honest. I gotta take it. Let's keep rolling. 1 more roll. No gloves. I'm going to sell 1 piggy bank to roll again. I'm going to sell another piggy bank. And I'm going to roll again. And that's a big old yikes. I think I'm going to end up taking our lightsaber with our blessing purity again. And we're not even going to put in our mana orb disruns because we want to still be stacking up a regen. And let's get going. Yeah, we're going to transition into a lightsaber instead with an ice flower. And we're going to be looking for that corrupted crystal, and we're going to be trying to inflict a bunch of debuffs potentially. This Falcon Blade crafting up was pretty darn tough. Now we are facing double burning blades. Is there any way we outscale this? Definitely not. Had insane damage. And with that, I did kind of want to go for another water elemental. We're going for a lightsaber with a Shiny Mantle. We can actually inflict a lot of blinds. And we got some gemstones. We could take the Shiny Mantle. We're going to be inflicting some colds. We can also inflict some blind with our Shiny Mantle. So we're going to take it. We're going for a Shiny Mantle build today. Let's take our lightsaber. But yeah, we're going to be getting rid of our hero sword. Now I do want to grab a bit of storage. I think I might actually get rid of our bag stones too. Just go ahead and grab this. We definitely want our storage. We could grab the puzzle bag of love, but we're making a huge difference by changing up our whole situation. We probably need in our food items to get some mana, and yeah, we're going to be using our Shiny Mantle to get rid of our Hero Sword, along with our Cupcake Staff, as well as our Shiny Shell. So we should be able to inflict a little bit of blind with our Shiny Mantle. We inflict blinds once we do have some regen. The problem is we have a finite amount of regen. But so far, our opponents is not looking too bad. We have inflicted a lot of cold on them. We might be able to survive this one out. We do get invulnerability again, keeping us healthy. But without the blinds, our LightSaber doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And this time, we do get invulnerability right at the end, but it's not going to be enough. Our opponent does have that Falcon Blade that I did once. But hey, not too bad. We got some blue gemstones, which can inflict some cold onto our opponents. We grab another Blessing of Purity. We can grab ourselves this wands. We grab ourselves another gemstone. We roll again. And we can use our mana with our Badger if we want to. Now we can also grab ourselves a Moon Shield to reflect debuffs. Moon Armour I kind of want to grab though, so I don't necessarily want the shield. Now I want the wand because the wand will help us stack up a regen that we will be using up with our LightSaber. We want to be crafting up all these gemstones. Do we want the Prismatic Orb? Do we want the Badger? I think I'm going to roll down. Let's take more gemstones. Let's sell this little green one to sell our gloves so we can grab ourselves another fanny pack. And it does give us endurance. Inflicting that blind for such a long time is exactly what we want, so we're going to be taking that for sure. And I'm going to speed up our LightSaber just a little bit more. Now we probably should take out this because this will be 2 regen if we kept our other little green gemstone. We could add 3 regen to activate our LightSaber again. Yeah, let's get going once again. Now take me back to the Corrupted Crystal because I do want to go for that Dark Saber, which deals damage based on how much debuffs we do have in our opponents. Our opponent is going to be cleansing debuffs, unfortunately, with that Goober. Again, Falcon Blade. It's like it knows that I did want that Falcon Blade, but we're dealing some big old damage. We still got a blind on him. But is it going to be enough to win out? We barely get invulnerability again, healing us back up. And barely winning out. Hell yeah. Now, we also get time melting, so we can inflict that blind for such a long time. We can also get invulnerability for such a long time, so I will be definitely taking him. Now we can also go for another Ice Flower, which I kind of do want to grab, but let's go ahead and grab our puzzle bag for now. The only thing is we're not really offering up things with our Shiny Mantle, because we want to get as much gemstones as possible. I'm going to grab a little bit more storage. I do want to take this, but again, we're not going to be offering up anything if we do take it. So I think we're going to start offering up our stones. Giving us small little gemstones, exactly what we're probably going to need. Nah, I'm going to be taking this too. But let's sell our little Starve Courage to go ahead and grab this little gemstone and... yeah, let's get moving. Let's definitely get moving. Really want to grab ourselves a Moon Armour so we can inflict more blinds. Our opponent does have Cthulhu with the snake. They're going to be triggering there. Or they're going to have lots and lots of max life. They're also going to be stacking up a lot of luck, which means their accuracy, they're eventually going to hit with their Fancy Fencing Rapier. No problems, we got a lot of cold in them. They did cleanse a lot of debuffs. And we do get invulnerability for such a long time, which is kind of nice. We also inflict that blind on our opponent for such a long time too, but again, they have infinite luck and one opponent to be facing. But it's another Blessing of Purity. Should we keep grabbing him? It's just lots and lots of heals. It cleanses debuffs. Let's go ahead and grab you. Puzzle bag improvement I'm not going to be too interested in. More coal stacking. I'm going to be taking. However, we're going to sell our Gallic to go ahead and grab ourselves another set of blueberries. And we could take this big old gemstone for healing reduction, but I'm going to move on. Definitely going to move on. All I want to find ourselves is a Holy Armour. Holy Armour, Corrupted Crystal. All going to be awesome. Our opponent does have an Excalibur with lots of heat stacking, and with this Chili Pepper, they're going to be cleansing a lot of those debuffs. Which is going to be problematic, especially with level up. They're going to be stacking up a lot of max life. We are definitely not going to win this one out. And I'm going to speed up, because our opponent just hit the nuts. Our opponent definitely hit the nuts. We do got lots and lots more heal reduction. We could go for a Cupcake Goobers. Let's go ahead and grab you. Let's roll again. And we could go for our own Excalibur. But I don't necessarily want to. That's our Holy Armour. For now, I'm going to sell our Box of Riches. Even though we do want to keep it for our Shiny Mantle, I'm just going to have to sell it. And I'm going to have to sell one of our gemstones. Being this one right here. So we can go ahead and grab it. And what we're going to do is we can have a bunch of holy items around it, but I'm going to be crafting up our Holy Armour into a Moon Armour so we can make use of our Power of the Moon. And I'm wondering, should we have our blue gemstones in on our armour instead of trying to inflict cold, because it is going to be pretty darn slow to inflict that cold. But it is what it is. We're going to have our Ice Flower in here. It's going to be targeting our armour along with our LightSaber. I'm going to be crafting up those gemstones, and maybe we do want to grab ourselves another Guide Dice. But I'm going to leave it for now. We're going to get our Moon Armour, and we should be able to get a ton of regen off the rip. 9 regen, so we should be able to inflict that blinds. Our opponent does have a corrupted armour, and they're going to be inflicting, cleansing that freaking blind and inflicting back on us. Without our own corrupted armour, yeah, we're not going to be able to stop our opponent from cleansing those debuffs. And they got insane heat right now, so we're going to be in huge trouble because they're going to be going pretty fast. We got lots of block. We are keeping up with them. Definitely so. LightSaber putting in some work for us. Invulnerability keeping us in it too. And when I say it's putting in work for us, we almost lost. We still almost lost. Which was madness. But hey, at least we got our Moon Armour. Let's take our helmet. Let's take our storage. Let's keep rolling. And I want to find ourselves spells called Dark Frenzies. Definitely so. Which we did get one, and we're going to be using this on our Moon Armour because this is going to be self-inflicting blinds, which we're going to be speeding up our Moon Armour, and we're going to be using our Power of the Moon to inflict that blind, and then we're also going to be cleansing that blind that we do inflict and putting onto our opponents. Let's go and grab our tiny bit of storage. Another puzzle bag of endurance. I mean, it is kind of what we want, is it not? We should be able to get tons of block with what we have right now. And I will be offering up this hat. Now, I did kind of want to keep this for another Ice Flower, which I'm definitely going to be doing. We can also go for Lantern Bear. We could also go for Null Blade. But let's definitely get going. So now we're going to be getting block and mana with our Ice Flower. We should be able to reflect whatever blind we do stack up on ourselves and our Moon Armour. We should be able to get a lot of blinds onto our opponent with a lot of colds, and our LightSaber should be able to deal some big old damage. Definitely so. Almost 20 blinds, 20 colds. And we wouldn't mind grabbing some birds right now to basically remove all that luck. Well, hell yeah, looking kind of smashing actually. But speaking of smashing, it does give us a skull badge to inflict those debuffs a little bit more. However, we're going to be taking this, and our puzzle bag of endurance, and we can have infinity of invulnerability with our Shiny Mantle. Now the skull badge will be inflicting a lot more debuffs, which I kind of do want to take, but I also want to find ourselves more Dark Frenzies. We're going to hold on to it. I'm not going to put it into our inventory as I roll. You want to sell though, I kind of want to grab and offer up with our Shiny Mantle. But we're going to have 90% duration on our Shiny Mantle. We can slightly move this back a little bit. And we get our speed. We get 60% of our blind stacked up, which is crazy. And the thing is, I'm going to be selling some gemstones. I'm going to sell these two. So we can go ahead and grab this, and we can offer that up to get more gemstones. But I also want to just keep our healing reduction on our opponents. We'll also get in a regen. So our Moon Armour is going to have crazy amounts of block from here. From the get-go, we should be able to stack up more mana for ourselves. We're going to have our Dark Frenzy target our weapons along with our Moon Armour. And you know what? Let's actually roll once more. Now let's get going. Let's get going. We're going to have infinity, basically, invulnerability. Which should be amazing. We're going to be inflicting that blind like crazy too. Then he's going to be bolting Greatsword, dealing insane damage to us. We do get invulnerability. And now we're stacking up our debuffs, which is going to be nice. Now our opponents will be cleansing it though with our Sun Armour. But the longer the fight goes on, the faster we do activate our Moon Armour, the more blind we do inflict. And the more cold we do inflict also. So this is actually looking kind of insane, is it not? Definitely so, and I want to grab another Ice Flower for sure. Now, should we take our points run? We do have 4 more rounds to go. How much DPS do we have? We only have 420 block, 22 block per second being our Moon Armour and our Ice Flower. In terms of damage, we do have only a 30 DPS, which is not too crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely not crazy whatsoever. But our opponent has 0% accuracy. Now, if you come across an opponent who is stacking an insane amount of luck, we will be in trouble. Now, we're going to be crafting up a perfect sapphire. That's going to be nuts. Let's grab our bird, let's grab our regen. Let's roll. Let's grab our tiny bit of storage. And let's go and grab this too. Offering these up. Kind of want to grab more blueberries, but I'm going to keep rolling. And we could grab ourselves a crow. How crazy would a crow to be duplicating those debuffs? I mean, wouldn't that just be crazy insane for us? That'd definitely be crazy insane. We're going to have our bird in the spot, speeding up our whole situation. We really do want this. Is there any way we can grab it right now? I'm tempted to even sell a regen instead of grabbing ourselves a gemstone. Because this crow is going to be nuts. It's going to duplicate the buffs we do inflict, which could be nice. We are facing a very long spear with a turtle. They're going to be increasing the amount of damage we're going to be taking. Can't see if they can hit us. Because we're decreased accuracy with our burden, we're going to be removing our luck. And this actually turned out to be kind of a nuts build. Now if we had more Dark Frenzies, we could be speeding up our Moon Armour even faster, inflicting that blinds. And we are slightly running out of stamina. We got Crazy Block. We got Infinite Invulnerability. And how are you going to beat this build? I mean, you're going to have 0% accuracy and you're going to be going at a snail's pace. Anyway. The only thing is we have no damage, even with a super fast freaking LightSaber. But it's definitely not looking too bad. The fatigue is also chipping down our opponents and smashing. But hey, we got more healing reduction, we got a perfect sapphire, we're going to be keeping this inner armor for now. Again, I'm going to be taking our skull badge, which I didn't do last rounds. We're also going to be taking you to offer you up, and now let's roll. Is there anything else we really want here? Not exactly. We could take another one to scale up more regen for us. I would love another Dark Frenzy though. Dark Frenzy or an Ice Block. The problem is I actually find it now. Now you actually also help us inflict blinds at the cost of life though. I mean, we do got 3 lives left. Might as well actually try it. Might as well try it. If it ends up bleeding us down a little bit too much, we're going to have to take it out. Now our opponent is going to be cleansing those debuffs. They are going to get a lot of buffs. They could end up stacking up a lot of luck. But we'll see with a crow, can we duplicate all the buffs we do inflict? Maybe. Our opponent does also get invulnerability. We're getting our cold stacked up, slowing them down. We're getting our blinds. They do got lots and lots of power. How much accuracy do they have? 5%. We do go into fatigue. And so far, yeah, our HP down is not looking too bad. We didn't inflict as much blinds, but again, our opponent does cleanse quite a bit with the Chariot. And yeah, I mean, we're taking no damage. And by the time we do get out of our invulnerability, our opponent is going to have no accuracy whatsoever. So it's just a long and drawn out fight of fatigue. I mean, that's 107 colds, 53 blinds. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. Now we do get a second bird. We also got more healing reduction, so our opponent can't even heal, which is also really, really darn awesome. But let's grab a bird again. Let's grab a bird. Let's grab our Stridge. It does give us another one. We're going to grab our hat. We're going to roll again. We could go for a big mana buff bomb. Increasing our buff generation. We can use our Scripture of Light to give us heals and regen. I'm thinking very, very strongly about taking his mana orb. So I'm going to sell our hat, and it will be taken out. Which I'm going to be placing in this position right here. You also kind of want to place this up top and place this in here so we can trigger it, which will be kind of nice. I'm going to sell. I kind of want to keep our regen though. I also want to keep our healing reduction, but I do need to roll to find ourselves a perfect sapphire. But yeah, let's get going again. We're going to have a bird in the spot, speeding up our Moon Armour most of all. We want to be going the fastest possible. And that's a big old Buster Blade trying to stun us too. We do have a tiny bit of stun resistance, not a whole lot though. But as long as our big old Buster Blade can't hit us, they are scaling up accuracy with the eye lamp. They're going turbo crazy with all the gloves. And especially with the wing boots, they're going to cleanse those debuffs. With the Shepherd's Crook, they're going to resist a lot too. But again, we get invulnerability for such a long time that even stacking up these debuffs doesn't matter too much, because our opponent can't hit us, they can't deal damage. We can just win out. We just have insane invulnerability. And our opponent can't even heal. We attack through their block. What else are they supposed to do? Literally completely shut down. Now an armor on Sill I'm going to be grabbing. Definitely do not want it. We could have crafted up a second Moon Armour, which would have been even better for us. Let's grab our fanny back. Let's roll again. We want the Toad? Probably not. I would have loved to grab a second Crow to duplicate those buffs even faster. We can grab ourselves a Cupcake to scale up our buffs even faster too. Since it is on sale, we're going to go ahead and take it. I'm going to sell you. I kind of want to grab this though. This will be really, really awesome to grab. Paradise Barb could be a lot of fun too. But I really just want to find our Dark Frenzy, because the more we do get, the more we inflict the blind on ourselves, the more we can cleanse those debuffs and reflect them. And we do manage to get one. Hell yeah, I'm going to be taking it. Now we didn't get an Ice Flower. It is super unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm also going to grab our little bit of storage and sell our little emeralds. And let's go ahead and take this. And yeah, this is going to be a fun setup. We're going to have our Dark Frenzy speed up our Blessing Purity along with our Moon Armour. And it should be kind of smashing. We'll see though. Will a time melting LightSaber Shiny Mantle be able to win out? We also got ourselves a Cat Spirit Companion, which I do want to grab too, but we don't have enough gold for it. Now let's see if it's going to be good enough. We are facing another card Goobers with a bunch of cards to cleanse those debuffs, so we could be in a bit of trouble. You don't have the Shepherd's Crook to remove or to resist those debuffs, so it shouldn't be too bad for us. But adding in a second Dark Frenzy is going to inflict more blind on ourselves that we can just reflect onto our opponents and just speed up our Moon Armour even faster. We really want our Moon Armour to be triggered every half a second if possible, so we're also going to be inflicting blinds from our Moon Armour. The faster we get it, the more we do inflict, the more awesome we're going to be. And we should have actually placed this in here. Holy moly, we would have been duplicating those buffs. Yeah, that's a bit of a misplay on my part. Now our opponent does have 6 luck. Their accuracy is going to be 10%. It's getting lower and lower. They do have an eye lamp to scale up their accuracy. They got tons of block, which we're going to be just ignoring with our LightSaber. And they're not going to be able to heal too much with 72% heal reduction on them. So we should be in a pretty good spot, especially with how much invulnerability we do have, allowing us to stack up our block to insane amounts. And it's definitely not looking too bad. We would have a lot more coal stacked up if our opponent didn't cleanse quite a bit. Now adding in a Corrupted Armour would have been nice too, but with our Moon Armour, Power of the Moon, Dark Frenzy type combo, we wouldn't have been able to inflict as much blind. However, our opponent wouldn't be able to cleanse those debuffs as easy though. But this is not going to be close whatsoever. We still have invulnerability 25 seconds in. And amazing. 25 seconds in and still having invulnerability is nuts. Now we did end up with a 66 DPS dealing 1400 damage. Our opponent had 20 DPS because they couldn't hit us, and if they did hit us, we're just going to have invulnerability anyway. In terms of heals, we did have 30 healing per second. Didn't matter too much because we had invulnerability, and we gained about 250 max life thanks to our Power of the Moon. In terms of block, we did manage about 832 block, being our Ice Flower giving us 300 block, with our Moon Armour another 250, and our Sapphire actually putting in decent work too. But having 155% increase in vulnerability on our Shiny Mantle is insane because it does apply to that 1 second of vulnerability, and plus 0.2 for each 10 gold worth gemstones. So we ended up having a 5 second invulnerability with our Shiny Mantle. Because of 5.5, we did get invulnerability, which does go ahead and last all the way down to 10 seconds, which then triggers again at 12 seconds. So there is that 2 second window. We get invulnerability again for 5 more seconds, all the way up to 17 seconds, and then again that 2 second window. So over 15 seconds of invulnerability, literally over 15 seconds of invulnerability, giving us a crazy amount of time to just stack up our debuffs and just beat down opponents by having 0% accuracy. But anyway, we did end up with 3 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 11 ranked us up to 75. Not too bad. Now I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope you keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. We're back to some round 18 fights, and we're going to see what we can do. Going up again, a Snake King Gooberts with their own Dark Frenzies. Now they're going to inflict a lot of blinds on themselves, which is going to actually work out on ourselves much better. They're going to help us along with our blind stacking, which is going to be nice of them. But you're going to have infinity luck because the Fancy Rapier keeps stacking up luck every time it does miss. So eventually they're going to hit, but we've slowed them down so much that it's not going to matter too much. Definitely not. Now can we deal with Burning Blade Dragons? Now they do got the Happy Bomb, which means we're going to take a lot of damage. They're going to cleanse those debuffs relatively easily as well, and yeah, they got a lot of cold on us, or a lot of blinds. But we should be in a pretty good spot, because eventually the Happy Bomb is going to pop off. They do lose a lot of their buffs, and with that we can just keep scaling up and not worry about taking that extra bit of damage, that 108% damage reduction and smashing. Now can we take on a super fast Null Blade with the Herald the Hateful Hat? They're going to have healing reduction for days, but also going to use up their luck, so their accuracy is going to be 0. We're going to also remove their luck, so they're not going to have as much scaling damage if they do even hit. And if they can't hit, then they're not going to be removing their buffs. So we should be in a pretty good spot just to be able to smash an opponent. And amazing.